What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. And today, James Gunn and DC Studios decided to drop the first Lanterns full trailer, and it looks sick! So, this is my breakdown of the Lanterns trailer, and this is gonna be a longer video because if you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, like I know I haven't done the DC podcast in a while. I'm gonna get back to covering DC and Marvel stuff on this channel as well, right? Nerd stuff is one of the pillars of this channel for a reason, right? But we're gonna do this trailer breakdown. So the trailer starts off with us just seeing Hal and John's dynamic. In this series, Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan, and Aaron Pierre is playing John Stewart. So it starts off with John saying to him, "We've been training for 2 months and I haven't even worn the ring yet." And it looks like they're sharing. I could be wrong, but it looks like they're sharing a ring, like between John and Hal, which is interesting. And Hal goes. And keep in mind, guys, this is a show for adults, right? It's an HBO Max show. So he goes, "You're like the fucking substitute teacher. So slow your roll, Junior," right? Because keep in mind, Hal Jordan in this is like in his mid-50s, right? So he's been doing it for a very, very, very long time. And then, they're, they're investigating a small town. I might actually end up doing this, reviewing this series on both channels because it takes place in a small town in the South. So, and so we're investigating a murder that happens in a small town. Like, so the sheriff of a police force, doesn't like Hal Jordan for some reason. She goes, "Hey, you're a big shot, but you better stay the fuck out of my way," right? So obviously there's either history there or she doesn't like superheroes, right? Because superheroes in this new DC universe have been around for 300 years, right? So they've been around for a very long time. But throughout this trailer, we get to see Hal and John's dynamic. So John is like John is a rookie when it comes to being a Green Lantern, but for those of y'all that don't know his comic book origin, and I'm assuming they're taking the same origin, John Stewart was a Marine in like the army. So thank you to all. If any military are watching this, thank you for your service. Um, so John Stewart may be a rookie to being a Green Lantern, but he's a soldier, right? He knows what he's doing when it comes to when he's in a fight, right? And then you guys know my concern with this series was when they first cast Hal Jordan that he was too old. I don't think that anymore. I think Kyle Chandler is gonna do a great job as Hal Jordan because he nails the comic book like snarkiness of Hal Jordan. Like, and I'm a comic book nerd as well, so I'm telling you guys, he nails the snarkiness of Hal Jordan. For those of y'all that only have seen the Green Lantern movie, Hal Jordan isn't like that, right? Right? He isn't like how he is in the Green Lantern movie, right? He can sometimes be very serious, but he has like this snarky, um, like he's very witty. Like that's the word I'm looking for. He's very witty. So basically, it shows. This is the first full trailer, so we don't get like much of what the story is, but we know they're investigating a small town, and then probably the hardest line in the trailer is John says or no, there's two parts. John said the hardest line for Jon Stewart, which is the Green Lantern oath says to protect people, and you know I do a better job of that than you. And then Hal Jordan says, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna be the one having this job. So he says again, like, slow your roll, Junior, right? And he calls him Junior, like, it doesn't seem like Hal wanted this job in the first place, right? Of training Jon Stewart and stuff like that. So you have two great actors. Like, if you don't believe Aaron Pierre will be a good Jon Stewart, go watch Rebel Ridge. He basically plays Jon Stewart without the Green Lantern ring. Like, right? And he's a great actor. He was young Mufasa in Mufasa, the Lion King. He was he has, I haven't watched the morning show yet, but I'm starting to watch it. He had an arc in the morning show, and he's a great effing actor. So, and then Kyle Chandler, I'm assuming most of you guys know because of Friday Night Lights and stuff like that. So yeah, but I'm stoked for this show. Like, this is like my second most anticipated show of this year. Like, if Daredevil wasn't coming out this year, who you guys know is my favorite superhero, if Daredevil Born Again Season 2 wasn't coming out this year, this would be my number one most anticipated show, right? James Gunn delivered with Superman, he delivered with Peacemaker, and he delivered with Creature Commandos. The interesting thing about this year for the DC Studios is James Gunn's a producer on all of them because he's the head of DC, but he's not like creatively involved. Like, he's the CEO of DC, but he's not creatively involved in the free DC projects we're getting. He's not involved in Supergirl. He's not involved in Clayface, and he's not involved in this. This is very different. Sorry, guys. And yeah, so for me, I'm very excited because the trailer looked really good to me. Like, it looks like they're taking a lot of influence from Earth One Green Lantern, which is a great storyline. Sorry guys if you can hear a dog barking. But yeah, for me, I'm stoked for this. And then probably the hardest line in the series is how Jordan is interrogating somebody, and hardest line in the series, hardest line in the trailer is how Jordan's interrogating somebody, and the person goes and asks him, like, who are you? Am I supposed to know who you are or something? And he's like, I'm Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Then he grabs him and throws him to the side and stuff like that. Very Batman-esque, if I had to say so myself. But yeah, like, it seems like very dynamic. Very dynamic kind of reminds me of like Hal and John's dynamic kind of reminds me of Logan. And if you haven't watched Logan, go watch Logan. Like, Hugh Jackman is one of the greatest actors of all time, in my opinion. Right? And like, the reason it reminds me of Logan is because, like, when it doesn't seem like Hal Jordan wants to give up his job, right, as a Green Lantern, right? And it looks like they're gonna, like, I don't think they're gonna get into a, like, physical fight because, but I think they're gonna be bickering back and forth. John and Hal are gonna be bickering back and forth throughout the whole series, and yeah, we have to wait until August for this one, but at least they gave a month, right? If you're a DC fan like I am, we have been waiting for this trailer for a year and a half, right? So it's really cool to see this trailer, and I'm excited to see, like, the space mythology in DC this year. Like, yeah, like, we had a bit of it with Superman, but, like, This year we're getting Supergirl, which is apparently completely set in space, according to the rumors. And then maybe like a few scenes on Earth with Millie Alcock's Supergirl interacting with David Cornsweat's Superman, right? Um, but um, but like I'm interested to see how much of the Green Lantern mythos they draw from here. Because they reference Chip the Squirrel, who's a deep cut comic book character, right? If you guys don't know who Chip the Squirrel is, he he's a squirrel who's a Green Lantern. So like how John Stewart goes, have you talked to any other Green Lanterns? Which is very interesting to me because like we've seen Guy Gardner in this universe because we saw him in Superman, right? So I'm very interested to see if John and Hal, if Hal knows Guy, right? Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, right? But yeah, like I'm very interested in that, and like for me, this really excites me. Like they have an older Sinestro in this. It looks like they might be doing Atrocitus from the trailer, so that really excites me. And it's HBO, who is like the gold standard for movies. I mean, for television shows, in my opinion. So yeah, thank y'all so much, and I hope you have a great day. And God bless you guys. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe, like, and share this video. And I would really appreciate it.